welcome to the field our Dartmouth Indian football team. Here are your starting lineups for your Dartmouth Indians. Eli Johnson. The head coach of the Dartmouth Indians, Richard White.
Hi again, everybody. Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos, and welcome to this special telecast of Dartmouth High School football. Silver Lake Regional High School in town tonight to take on the Indians. This game is part of the MIAA state tournament. Both teams did not make the playoffs, and in last week's action, the Indians lost to Stoughton 34-24, where Silver Lake took on Newton North and defeated them. So this game, really, I guess, Paul, is kind of a consolation game. You have to play it. Every team needs to play at least 10 games in the state. They're just playing really this game so that the kids have a game, and they look forward, both teams, to Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, that's the format that they have now at the MIAA, and all teams not only guaranteed these consolation games, 2 of them to be exact, but they're entitled to have 1 at home and 1 on the road. So this is one here that obviously the Indians are playing here at home, and they'll get an opportunity to play this game in front of the home fans. There'll be one more game, and then, of course, Thanksgiving right around the corner.
It's been a beautiful day here in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Game time temperature is 56 degrees, and the wind about 15 knots. It just started to pick up around 4:30 this afternoon, Paul. It started to get a little bit chilly, and the wind picked up a little bit, and expecting a cold front coming in here for the weekend.
That's right, but right now in the 50s, not bad for this time of the year. Of course, we've been getting these 70-degree temperatures, which is really making it comfortable. Problem is, when it goes from 70 down to 50, you think you're freezing, but you're not really, because this is pretty good for this time of the year. So in the 50s here at the stadium, and as you said, a little bit of wind, but I don't think anything that's going to take away any passing game that the teams might execute. Apparently, Silver Lake does like to put the ball in the air from time to time, depending on what the opposing defense is giving them. So we'll have to see. But I don't think the breeze that we have here tonight is going to affect either quarterback in that regard.
Let's take a moment to honor this great country of ours. It's our national anthem.
Under the direction of Mr. Ian Flynn.
Very well done by the Dartmouth High School band. A lot of members not participating tonight. The high school really didn't know when the game was going to be played, as we've talked about all season long. And if you're new to the telecast, and welcome all you viewers on YouTube Live, it's hard to get officials called. So they have to work Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday afternoons. And some of these guys do college Division III games on Saturdays. So just a lack of officiating in the state, also in the state of Rhode Island. It's the same issue.
Absolutely. So if you're out there and you've ever had an interest in officiating, or maybe have done some officiating at some of the youth levels or something like that, and you want to move up and learn a little bit, it would be appreciated, because it is difficult to kind of put the burden on the officials that we have to have them work on multiple nights. One of the things that worked tonight is that tomorrow is a holiday, Veterans Day, so we'd like to say something out there right now. A big fat thanks to all of the veterans out there who have helped defend this great country of ours, so we're celebrating that tomorrow. But it is also a nice night here because many have the day off, so quite a few fans have come out to see the consolation game on the Dartmouth side of the field. Dartmouth High School ended up winning the toss, and they have elected to receive. So here we go. And for the play-by-play, the voice of Dartmouth High School football, Mr. Jim Thompson.
Thank you, Paul. The Indians to receive, and this is a solid kick. Goes across the goal line. That'll be a touchback. The Indians will have the opening drive. Just underway here at the stadium. Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos. Welcome you people in Dartmouth on DCTV, Dartmouth Community Media. And, of course, you folks watching live. I know there are several fans in the Villages, Florida, where I retire to in the wintertime. Rich Rocchio tuning in tonight. One of the all-time classics.
Yes, welcome in. Glad to have you looking in tonight. One of the advantages here since we've been on YouTube is that you can be anywhere on the globe and still catch a telecast. And a lot of times we'll get feedback of people watching their grandkids or, following the alma mater from wherever they live. So that's a very nice thing.
Jackson Hart gets the start. He started the last couple games, and here he is getting the start tonight. The Indians running on first down and getting out to the 26-yard line is Ray Gremlick. And Gremlick, first few games, Paul, wasn't used that much. Ricky threw him in the last 5 or 6 games, and he's been kind of a workhorse for the Indians. Yeah,
as a matter of fact, I was just looking at the stats of last week's game. Ray Gremlick finished with 21 carries for 98 yards and a touchdown in that loss to Stoughton. So that was a good example of what you saw as each game has gone along. He's got more comfortable. He's become more effective, more dangerous, somebody that the defense has to keep an eye on, no question.
Second down and short here for the Indians. This is the opening drive. Just underway here from the stadium. And here is the young quarterback, Jackson Hart. That didn't go too well. In on the play was Caleb Berry.
Jackson Hart last week, 9 carries, 91 yards, a touchdown. Completed 4 of 8 passes for 25 yards in the game against Stoughton. But right there, that did not go too well. But he is somebody that does bring speed to the table. And it's one of the reasons why you see him there at quarterback. He can run the option. He can definitely pass the ball from time to time. But it's his ability to break free, especially to the outside, that has been most effective for him at the quarterback position.
3rd and 5 here for the young quarterback. There's play action. He's going to boot it out here to the near side, completes it. And that is in the hands of Jason Martin. And Martin is out for a first down. Gain of 9 on the play.
I really like this play call because, the Indians run the ball more often than not. And that little play action fake, looks like some of the defenders bit on that. Nice high percentage pass out to the flat. And a 3rd down conversion has occurred here in the first drive for Dartmouth.
1st and 10 Indians. Misses Gremlick and the ball's out. And Silver Lake claims they have it down there at the 32-yard line. And recovering the fumble was John Dickinson. And you can watch this, Paul. As soon as he got hit, he turned his head like, I have everything but the ball.
Yeah, and he got hit really hard right on the side where the ball was being housed under that right arm. And it was like, pow, that ball came flying out. And a good job by Silver Lake falling on the ball right there. So how's this for field position at the enemy 34?
First turnover of the game. Let's see what Silver Lake can do with it. Bouchane's their quarterback, and he hands it off and breaking tackles and getting down inside the 15-yard line was Dickinson.
That's about a 24-yard gain there by Dickinson. And watch him turn the speed here after he gets through that first cluster of defenders. Really had to go through a lot of traffic, but there was a good hole created there by the offensive line. And once he got into the daylight, it was clean and green, and off he went deep into Dartmouth territory.
And they hand it off to Russ Griffin. And Griffin get tripped up over his own feet, maybe a yard on the play. Second down now here for Silver Lake. Just over 9 minutes to play opening quarter. You're watching Dartmouth High School football, cablecast by Dartmouth Community Media. Peter Chase directing and producing here this evening. We'll call it 2nd and 10 yards to go now. Mike Bouchane is the quarterback. Running back is Griffin. And Dickinson. And this is Dickinson, left side. Breaks a couple of tackles down inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. Cherry gets credited with the tackle. And he's going to be about a yard short. So it'll bring 3rd down now and short. See if Silver Lake can take advantage of a Dartmouth High School turnover.
It's early in the game, but it feels like Silver Lake is really winning at the battle of the line of scrimmage. They're really pushing off very well, and you see that the yardage here is coming. They haven't had any losses or any minimal gains. They get at least 5, 6, 7 every time they run the ball, and that's a good early sign from the Silver Lake point of view.
Here's Bouchane on the carry. He's got plenty of running room, and untouched goes the Silver Lake quarterback for the opening score of the game. They made that look easy, Paul.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I was saying. The 8-yard touchdown run here by Bouchane, and you see it looked like there was no struggle at all getting in the end zone. The offensive line really opening up a big hole for Bouchane, and Bouchane went right through that Dartmouth defensive line and into the end zone. And talk about complimentary football. The defense causing that fumble. They take over at the 34 of Dartmouth, and off they go into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, here's a muff on the snap back to the holder. And the point after touchdown will fail. The clock is stopped here at the stadium with 8 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Silver Lake takes the early lead at 6-0 off a Dartmouth High School turnover.
That's right, the turnover happening at the Dartmouth Indian 34-yard line after they won the toss. Came down the field, got 1 first down, but still were in their own territory when that fumble occurred. And, of course, the running game really looking good for Silver Lake in the early going, and the final play there, the 8-yard touchdown run by Bouchane. But I didn't like the way they came down the field so easily. It felt like they were moving the ball without really a lot of, pushback from the Indians. That could change, adjustments get made, but at least for the purposes of that first drive, Silver Lake did a nice job moving the ball on the ground. Dartmouth will get their second possession here in a moment. They did get 1 first down on that first drive when they had the ball, but unfortunately the fumble wiped that away.
So Silver Lake will kick it off. They get the early score and the early lead. And here's the kick. It's another deep one, and Indians are going to field it. And the referee's going to say no. It's going to be called a touchback. So that'll advance the ball out to the 20-yard line. The Indians will have their second offensive series of the game. Now finding themselves trailing by a touchdown.
And I saw the Silver Lake player trip over his own feet, and I was thinking, I wonder if Jim Thompson was at that Providence College game the other night. Were you at that game?
I most certainly was.
What a great game.
I never wanted to see anyone trip more than that kid with the ball with 4 seconds to go in front of 11,000 people.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for him.
I kind of did too, but it was an exciting game and a good showing by PC.
Well, the Indians now take over, and there's Gremlick. He's across the 30 and out to a 36-yard line, a gain of 16, and an Indian first down.
Well, we talked about Gramlich, how he's improved every single week as the season has gone along and become a better weapon for Dartmouth. And talking about the offensive line, the Dartmouth offensive line did a nice job right there. But Gramlich last week rushing for just under 100 yards in that game against Stoughton and really playing with a lot of confidence. And it's something that the Indian offense can always go to when they want a big gain up the middle.
Ball's out again, and this time Jackson Hart falls on it.
Fumble on the play, Jackson.
These are the type of things, Paul, late in the season you don't like to see from your offense. They have trouble scoring as is. They average about 14 points a game. But this has been the Achilles heel for this Indian team all season long. The offense just, it struggles. Already in 2 series have had 2 fumbles.
Exactly, and if you're not a team that can put up a lot of points to begin with, you add in a couple of turnovers and it's disaster.
So the Indians going to be
Flag on the play.
flagged
Ball, offside. Silver
for
Lake.
a motion penalty, I believe. Let's see. No, I have it wrong. It's marching it the other way. Offside Silver Lake. So the Indians catch a break as they advance the football out to the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Dartmouth High School.
Referee tonight is Craig Small. Other officials, James Bowman, Jared Santos, Nuno Barrows, a great athlete back in the day, as many of these officials are. Tim Chapin, and up here in the booth with us, operating the clock, Mr. Sean Myers. And I see Doc Noons over there, too. Is that Doc Noons over there behind the microphone?
It most certainly is. He cured COVID, the doctor. At least that's what he told me. His Hart's got plenty of running room, right up the middle. Got himself a 1st down and more. They may not catch him. Hart down the far sideline. He's going to go in for the score. 58 yards.
58-yard touchdown run by Jackson Hart.
That's that speed that makes Jackson Hart so dangerous from the quarterback position. You have to watch him execute the option. You have to watch him pitch it out. You have to watch him throw the ball. But then when he takes off himself, he can really do damage. Now watch this, the fake handoff to the sweep. And then all of a sudden he saw that hole. And, you know, you got to hit the hole, but then you have to kind of flash through the hole and pick up that speed. And he did, went right down the sideline. Once he started running quickly, you knew that he was going to go the distance.
And the kick is blocked.
So we have a pair of touchdowns, each school, and a pair of point after touchdowns. No good. That one blocked by Silver Lake. In the opening of the game, you had mentioned the quarterback change, and you mentioned the speed of Jackson Hart. We've talked to the coaches all season long. Kind of young. They weren't sure they were going to put him in. Nico Morris got the start. He did a nice job as well, but they just saw something in this young sophomore. You hit it right on the button. There he went. Nearly 60 yards for an Indian touchdown.
Great way to respond, too, after what happened in that first drive when the Indians fumbled the ball. Actually, they fumbled it on this drive, too, but they recovered their own fumble. First time fumbling it, and Silver Lake recovering at the Dartmouth 34, converting it into points. So a great way to respond by Dartmouth to tie this game up at 6. And it's unfortunate not to see the extra point because Louis Freitas has been pretty much automatic. Obviously, there's nothing you can do if it gets blocked. But last week, 3 for 3 with extra points plus a field goal. This kid is almost automatic when you're down there in front of the goalpost, but that time blocked.
Griffin and Peach back deep, and this is Peach from his goal line. And Peach tried to make a little cut there and touched down his right knee where he's whistled down there. And Silver Lake now, we're in a tie ball game at 6 with just under 6 minutes to go. You're watching Indian football cablecast by DCTV in the town of Dartmouth. Again, welcome all you folks watching live on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. We've got a legion of followers, including a bunch from the Villages, Florida. I'd like to say hello to all our friends down there, and we'll see you in early December if you'll accept us. Bouchane in there at the quarterback spot. And here's Dickinson, and this time Dickinson runs right into the Indians' Mike Figueredo.
Glad to see that because on the first drive, Silver Lake was moving the ball almost with ease, really dominating at the line of scrimmage, the point of attack. At that time, the Indians closed up quickly and stopped the runner. And
the point of attack in the opening series was the left side.
Right.
And, that time, a nice job by the Indian defense. 2nd and 11 now here for Silver Lake. More than halfway through the opening quarter. Here's Dickinson. He's got a little room and gets hauled down after a 5-yard gain. Eli Johnson got in there to make the stop. Third down, we'll call it 6, Paul.
Third down conversion, so important in a football game, as we all know. Indian defense does not have Silver Lake in any third down situations in that short field drive. So this is a great opportunity for the Indians to stop them here. And if they do, the Indians will have terrific field position.
Defense has given up an average of 21 points a game. Two wides to the near side. Here's Bouchane. Look, here comes the rush. Bouchane tries to avoid it and gets leveled for a big loss. Chase Lackey.
Lackey definitely making his presence felt as Bouchane went back, but it all started with a pass rush. He was dropping back, looking to pass on third down, which they like to do, but all that pressure being put on by Dartmouth before he was finally hit by Bouchane. Like Jason Martin was in there putting pressure on the quarterback before that, and the Indians will force Silver Lake to punt.
Good snap, low kick. It's going to drop down at midfield, and Fenno's going to let it roll across the boundary at the 42-yard line, where the Indians will start the third series of the opening quarter. We're tied up at 6.
Well, so far it's been a good game to watch in terms of the competitiveness and the fact that the teams are evenly matched. Really can't tell which way it's going to go. I believe Laurie, loss of the Standard Times, had it Dartmouth 17 and Silver Lake 14, I think was your prediction. So the pundits thinking that this is going to be kind of a toss-up game, but the Indians would like to play their last home game here at the stadium and get a W in the column there, the win column.
Hot. Gremlett. And Ray's out there for a solid gain of 7. Not a very big guy, Paul, but gets a lot of carries per game, and he's a production maker, no question.
Kind of a grinder, huh? Kind of small. He just kind of powers his way through. And as we said during the early moments of the telecast, he's improved as the season has gone along quite a bit.
Yeah, Ricky had a very young team coming into the season, and after 4 or 5 games, you kind of find out who can and who can't, and I think he's found Gremlick as a starting running back. That time the Indians tackle on the near side jumped.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the season there were only 2 starters on offense and 2 starters on defense returning. So for this year, I mean, the Indians right now coming into this contest here tonight at 4 and 6. Silver Lake is 3 and 6. So considering the youth of the team and everything, very competitive, and the future definitely looking bright for Dartmouth.
2nd and 10 for Young Hart. Keeps it. He made something out of nothing as he got it up over the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. With Logan Barnhart got hold of him. 3rd down and about long 4 for Dartmouth High School.
You know, Jim, you said how he made something out of nothing. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking, okay, there's nothing there, so what's he going to do? Well, he uses athleticism and his ability to kind of deke to the right, turn on the jets a little bit, and still squeaked out 4 yards when really, maybe even 5, when really you had nothing there at all.
Hart's going to throw it. He's got a man wide open in the middle of the field. It's complete. It's enough for a first down. Virgo was the catcher of that pass. It's enough for a first down.
It's about a 14-yard gain. Look at the execution right here in the play action fake. Look at this. A lot of people coming up. Oh, there's going to be a running play up the middle, but a quick hit right over the middle. High percentage pass, not that far down the field. Just enough to get the first down and keep the chains moving. Nice call. Nice execution here by the Dartmouth offense.
Donovan Burgo with first down catch. And down the sideline and going in for a score is Andrews. From 40 yards out, however, there's a flag down.
Well, that's unfortunate if that one comes back because that was the right call at the right time. The jet sweep is a play that the Indians like to call, but you hadn't really seen it much. And that time, Andrews went flying around the side. Not sure if he benefited from a hold, but that is going to be the call.
Holding against the Indians.
And back it comes.
No, that negates the touchdown.
See if we can find it.
10-yard penalty. Brings the ball back to the Silver Lake 44-yard line.
Oh, it's on 11.
It'll be first and 14.
It was right in front of the official. It looked like Graham White was just pushing his man across the boundary. And as he did, you could see the referee just dropped the flag right there.
So let's see what this Dartmouth offense can do on a 1st and 15.
And Gremlick just dives into a pile of defenders. Short gain, if any.
Hamilton on the carry.
Billy Hooper
Billy Hooper on the tackle.
on the tackle. And there's a player down for Silver Lake.
Official timeout on the field.
So while we have an official timeout, as you know, you folks in the local area, if you watch Channel 6 locally, you know, if you're getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning, you need a glass of water or something, you say, you know, honey, I'll be back to bed in a minute. And all of a sudden, you put on Channel 6, and it's Paul Santos. He's Paul Santos Live. And the show is dead. They should call it Paul Santos Dead, but they call it Paul Santos Live. And it's on Facebook, and it's a big hit, and Paul does a great job. He invites local musicians and artists, and he's going to have a special kind of artist, I understand, this upcoming Monday.
That is correct. We have a very, very big show coming up on Monday night. We like to invite the talented, interesting, and entertaining from the area. That's what we banner it as, talented, interesting, and entertaining. Well, I know someone who's talented, interesting, and entertaining who's going to be on the show. Mr. Jim Thompson is going to make another appearance. You came on last time. We had a lot of fun. It is kind of like a comedy variety show patterned after the original Tonight Show. Sometimes we get a little silly, but we're having a good time, and we're presenting local talent. And you're not on alone. We have some musical acts. I'm going to tell you about that in a few minutes next time we have a break.
Good.
We can't have just you carry the whole show. You know, as good as you are, like, we don't want to put that kind of burden on you.
Here's Hot, rolls near side, throws, and it's knocked away. Nice defensive play back there by Edward Kahn. Virgo was the intended receiver. 3rd and 14.
Yeah, that was too bad because, you know, on the second long timeout on the field, the Indians are thinking, well, even though it's still second down, we got a lot of yardage to cover. We'll put the ball up. And I think, you know, the quarterback there, I'm not sure Hart wanted to throw it necessarily, but he probably figured, well, best chance is I got to get this ball downfield. And the ball may have been picked off, or at least had the chance of being picked off, but it's incomplete. So they get another shot at 3rd and 14.
2 to the near side, 1 to the top of your screen. 3-step drop. They're going to throw the middle screen. Well set up. And running with the football with the Indians is Martin. And Martin's got himself a first down, gain of 17. Well done by the Indian offensive line that time, selling that play.
Oh, I love this call, and I love the way they executed it. Look at everybody coming in, and he just drops it right over the middle, all by himself. And out he goes for about a 15-yard gain. What a nice job there by Jason Martin on the receiving end. And Hart really looking comfortable there, very poised. You see all these players coming at you. You still got to execute the play, and he dropped it nicely over the middle.
1st and 10 Indians. We're tied at 6. And there goes the horn, and that will end the first 12 minutes here from the stadium. After the first 12, our score, Silver Lake 6, the Indians 6. Pretty entertaining first half ball.
Yeah, I like it, 6-6. It's kind of interesting how both teams missed the extra point. You know, the block, they were both blocked, actually. I mean, the Indians are almost automatic with Louis Freitas. They thought for sure it was going to be 7-6, but no, that was blocked also. So here we sit at 6-6 after 1 quarter of play here at Dartmouth Memorial Stadium. And it's a nice night in the 50s. Got a good crowd out here for a consolation game, especially here on the Dartmouth side. Silver Lake, of course, some distance away. One of those areas where you say you can't get there from here. It's like,
it's very true.
Very tough to get to, but good turnout here by the Dartmouth crowd, and that's always nice to see.
My current wife I had one prior, Paul, just in case you didn't.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So she lived in Marshfield, and you couldn't get there from Dartmouth. So after the first date, I said, "Why don't we just get married?" And she said, "Why is that?" I said, "It's too much in gas. It cost me $40 to get here. It'd be cheaper if you just move in."
Oh, so that tells me something. See, she was some distance away, but when there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying?
You know, though, Paul, when you're in love, distance
You're in
is
love.
not a factor.
No,
Really.
that's right. No, that's absolutely right.
And now some nights I say, Marshfield looks really good for you. I'd like to go back and visit for a day or two. I know Peter Chase will be getting calls. People don't have sense of humor anymore. Here's Gremlick. Gremlick breaks through the first wave. Finally gets taken down by Sapullo and a couple other guys, but not before a solid run by Gremlick of 6 yards. Second down and short. Just the start now of the second quarter. You're watching Indian Football Cablecast by DCTV, Dartmouth Community Media. And you folks watching live on YouTube, greatly appreciated. And we get a lot of hits, not just live, but throughout the week. And YouTube is a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of YouTube. Gremlick barrels his way inside the 20-yard line. John Dickinson, the touchdown maker for Silver Lake, makes the tackle, but not before the Indians pick up a first down.
How about that? Back-to-back runs by Gremlick. Pretty much the same play up the middle with the offensive line pulling out. And up the middle went Gremlick. 2 runs, 2 yards of in excess of 5 yards. Boom, first down.
There's a false start if you've ever seen one. Now on the play before, where this young quarterback is really, I could see him developing. Notice how he just rode the halfback, just put it and he was running alongside Gremlick. You freeze the linebackers at that point. They don't know who's got it, who's going where. And that comes with experience. And Gremlick got a nice gain on that, but that was all set up by the quarterback. And earlier in the year, that's hard. It's, you have to get a lot of reps. And you can see it paying off for this young fella. Marcus Andrews on the carry. Not for much. Peach gets credited with the tackle.
Looked like he was going to get tackled for a loss at first, but then it was that second fake. See right here, it looked like he was going to lose 5, and then he at least battled his way back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 here for Dartmouth. Dartmouth in the red zone, and they did score a touchdown the last time they were down here. You want to be able to get into the end zone when you're in the red zone, especially this Dartmouth offense that has struggled. So let's see if they can do it this time.
Here's the sweep to the near side. That's Gremlick. Stiffs his man down to the 10-yard line. Peach with a nice open field tackle to get Gremlick to the ground. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Indians now. 3rd and about 6.
Most of the time, Gremlick runs to the interior, but this time he takes the ball around the side. You can see those defenders coming across and doing a good job defending for Silver Lake. So now a 3rd down possibility here, or a 3rd down situation for Dartmouth. Remember, Louis Freitas' 22-yard field goal last week. If it comes down to that, Coach White will not be afraid to go to the kicker.
Hot throws, end zone. It's caught on a beautiful catch off the rebound. And that's Donovan Burgo, his 2nd catch of the game. And that's going to be just short, Paul, about by a yard.
I like the way the speed with which the quarterback threw the ball. He fired it right in there, and what an outstanding catch, as the concentration that was required in order to pull that ball in by Donovan Burgo, a junior, making that catch. And it is 4th down, and I guess it's because it's a 1-yard situation. They're going to go for it.
4th and 1 for the Indians.
Gremlick barreled his way, got himself a 1st down. Bailey Hooper on the tackle.
Head coach Rick White showing confidence in his offense, knowing that getting 1 yard is is different than getting, say, 5 yards. I think if it had been a 4th and 5 or something like that, then you may have seen the field goal unit come out, led by Louis Freitas. But because it was 4th and 1, the correct thinking was we're going to go and get that first down.
Ricky is not happy, and I'm looking at the spot. And one official had it about a half a yard closer to the goal line. The guy who marked it a half a yard back. So they may not have gotten this, as you see the crew coming across.
Yeah, I was looking at it like the original spot, and I think you're right. I don't think they put it in the same spot. Let's see.
Stretch it out.
No.
We're not going to get it. You can hear the Indian coaches upstairs. It was quite obvious where one guy spotted to put his shoe down, and the guy from the far side came in. They threw the ball to the other referee, and he spotted it. And there's Ricky like, you guys got to be kidding me.
Well, I guess I have to take back that speech I made a moment ago, except for the fact that when we were watching it in real time, too, before he even spotted it, the Indians got a big push off the offensive line. It looked easily like he got at least 1 yard. But, again, that's the decisions that, you have to make. Do you go for the kick? Do you go for the first down? They made the decision. And now it's incumbent upon the defense to take advantage of the field position because Silver Lake is starting deep in their own end zone here.
And Bouchane hands it off to Dickinson, and they're starting deep in their own territory.
Dickinson on the carry.
Jason Martin made the tackle. There's an old basketball coach here. I won't mention his name, but he had one of the greatest lines about officials. He said, we practice 20 hours a week and 2 games a week. And we practice 2 hours a day, and it takes you 5 minutes to ruin it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what Ricky's thinking right now. Like, it was so obvious from up here. We see it on the monitor that where it was marked originally and then where they placed the ball wasn't in the same spot. Silver Lake looking to take advantage. 2nd down and 6, and that ball is loose in the end zone, and it's going to be a safety. Bouchane didn't have much to think about other than fall on the ball. You try to pick it up, and all bad things can happen from there. So smart play by the quarterback. Give up the 2 points. We'll look on.
Ball just bounced right by him, and like you said, the concern about trying to get up, maybe get hit, fumble a ball or something like that. Just take the 2-point loss. Problem is now Silver Lake is going to be giving the ball to Dartmouth, and the Indians will have an opportunity for a double score. But there it is, something unusual, 8-6.
Well, if you're one of these analytical guys, you go, okay, we're going to get 7. We didn't get the first down. Bad spot. 2 seconds later, you get 2.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't get 3, you didn't get 6, you got 2.
So you got jobbed out of 5 points on this. Good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
7:29 to go in the opening half. Indians on top by a score of 8-6. And we're in the 6th inning.
That's right. It does feel like a baseball score, doesn't it? Oh, is that Jim? Jim, hello, you're on the air. Well, Jim Thompson's going to be a guest on the Paul Santos live show, live this Monday night on New Bedford Guide.
You think people will be calling in like that?
Paul Santos live YouTube channel. And by the way, the musical guest that night is going to be the Groovalados.
Oh, my favorite. Here's a one-hopper. This is Fenno. Fenno's got the 40, 45 midfield. Chase down the far sideline. It's a solid return inside the 40-yard line of Silver Lake, where the Indians will have it 1st and 10, leading by a couple.
Complimentary football at its best. Offense, defense, special teams. Take a look at Fenno coming around the 30-yard line, into the 40, past midfield, down to the enemy 40. In excess of a 30-yard return by Fenno, and it sets up this fantastic field position for the Dartmouth Indians. Chase Fenno, a junior, plays wide receiver on offense, defensive back on defense, return man right there on kickoffs.
Hart this time off to play fake and keeping his balance, and he wrestles with Bailey Hooper, who's twice the size. Gets credited with the stop. Gain of 3 by the Indian quarterback. 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Just under 7 minutes to play here in the opening half. It's been entertaining, nonetheless.
Very interesting game so far. Something a little bit different than the norm. You know, this thing where both teams couldn't get the extra point when generally they do. And then that last drive where Silver Lake stopped Dartmouth, but then they were unable to do anything coming out of their own end zone and ended up taking a safety.
And this is Gramlich. Gramlich's got himself a first down. Barnhart gets credited with the stop, but not before the Indians pick up yet another first down.
Ray Gramlich is only a sophomore. We've talked about him quite a bit. Plays defensive back on the other side of the ball, but has made his presence felt here on the offensive side of the ball from the running back position. Nice job by Ray.
Here's Andrews off the jet sweep, and Andrews cracks down to the 19-yard line. John Dickinson making the play for Silver Lake. The Indians had averaging about 3-4 yards a pop here, Paul, throughout this game, and a couple of long gainers as well.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if they could just not make any mistakes, right? It's the penalties that have hurt a little bit. You know, you start out with a 1st and 15, big difference, right? So if you can just not have any procedure penalties and stuff like that, I've been impressed with the way they've moved the ball pretty much.
This is Gramlich. Gramlich noses his way down to about the 15-yard line. I keep getting these text messages, Paul. It's going to happen on your show. Last time I was on Paul Santos' show, this odd number came up and said, "Great job, Dad." And Paul immediately said, "Is there something your wife doesn't know?" I don't know. I've never gotten a birthday card or anything, but it wasn't not a number of my 2 children. There's Gramlich on the second down carry, breaks through, and Gramlich is down inside the 5-yard line.
Pushed out of bounds by Dane Peach.
Peach made the saving touchdown, but the Indians set up shop now, 1st and goal from just inside the 2.
4-yard line.
Another great run there by the Indians. I thought there was a chance that he might have snuck in the corner of the end zone, but not quite. They got him out of bounds at about the 2, so look where the Indians sit. A great opportunity here to get their second touchdown of the game. 1st and goal of the 2.
Gramlich, this time he gets in. No need for a spot for a first down. It's an Indian touchdown. With 4:40 to go, from 2 yards out goes Ray Gramlich.
I'm glad to see him get this score. Definitely was a workhorse coming down the field. And there he went into the end zone, standing up to give the Indians the lead, and now an opportunity for the extra point by Freitas.
Freitas has been money for the last couple of years. He gets this one away, and he knocks it through per usual. The clock is stopped here at Memorial Stadium with our score: Dartmouth High School 15, Silver Lake High School 6. This game's been about turnovers. The Indians turned the ball over for the first Silver Lake score. The Indians capitalizing on a safety on the quarterback Bouchain. They get the 2 points, and they come down, Paul, and off a nice kick return from Fenno, and go in for the touchdown.
Yeah, special teams playing a part in tonight's game for sure. You mentioned that Fenno return, which is almost forgotten for people that aren't really paying attention or whatever. I mean, you're talking about starting the drive at the enemy 40, right? So that's a short field. Okay, you go in and score. The other time the Indians scored is they had a short field as well when they recovered a fumble thanks to the defense. The defense also forced a safety. So a lot going on here with the special teams, offense, defense, special teams. And so the Indians out in front here 15-6 as we enter the latter stages of quarter number 2.
Griffin and Peach back deep as Freitas rifles this one. 2-hopper into the end zone. And Silver Lake will get possession of the football, trailing by a score of 15-6 with 4:40 to go, Paul, opening quarter.
And I was thinking the last time you were on the Paul Santos live show, you got so caught up in the excitement that you sat on the lap of my sidekick and co-host, great entertainer Chops Turner, and started singing along to the great Frankie Valli hit. Which one was it now?
I was so shocked that I was actually
Can't take my eyes off of you.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. So you fit right in.
Here's a pass on first down. It's completed into the hands of Logan Barnhart. Barnhart's out for a gain of 6, being second down and short.
Well, talking to Silver Lake head coach Wayne Reisfelder before the game, backup quarterback Mike Bouchane has been playing the junior for the last 3 weeks or so after the injury to Douglas Gilmore.
And they come up with a hurry-up offense. Trevor Enright with the catch, and that's enough for a Silver Lake first down.
So Coach Reisfelder had talked about how Gilmore was leading the team to a good season, and then Bouchane has had to come in, and he's done a nice job filling in last few weeks.
Here's the jet sweep, Enright. Couldn't get past White. Excuse me, Dylan Gomes.
Silver Lake moving things along.
Gain of 3 on the play. It will be 2nd and 7. Ball is on the 38-yard line of Silver Lake.
Second and long here. Going to get it out quickly, and it's almost intercepted, but caught in across midfield, and a first down goes Mike Kravosky.
Well, this hurry-up offense is definitely causing some issues. That's the idea, kind of catch the Dartmouth defense off guard. Look how quickly this ball comes out. And the Indians, there's Dylan Gomes taking a chance. Just missed the interception.
And they run it to the far side. A solid gain, still on his feet and running for a first down of 17 yards. It was Barnhart.
Silver Lake has come up with this big burst of energy running this hurry-up offense. And now, is that the Indians calling the timeout?
I think Coach Martin, the defensive coordinator,
Let's slow things down.
yeah, he just wants to give his team a rest. And you have to have a pretty experienced team, Paul, at the high school level to come out and not get plays from the sideline. So that just tells you a lot about Mike Bouchane, the quarterback, to be able to organize that in his wideouts as well.
It looked like it was working very well. It was kind of like run up, snap, play, next time, run up, snap, play, the pass play, another pass play, a run to the left side. So a good time out there by Dartmouth. Let's put the hold on this for a moment with 3:11 to go in the half. Dartmouth leading 15-6. So it's a 9-point lead. You see the Dartmouth High School marching band. And behind that, a very nice crowd here tonight for a consolation game. And of course, on Thanksgiving, Dartmouth Community Media would be out in Fairhaven. As the Indians, I think, I would say, are the underdogs this year because Fairhaven is just having a tremendous year.
They are, but they have some injuries over at Fairhaven. Have had a great year. And their star player is injured but expected back for Thanksgiving Day game, from what I'm told.
Should be a good game because you can never count out Dartmouth. I think Dartmouth sometimes, you know, even if they're having a young team, they can fool you.
Well, it's picked up by the Indians, and this may go back all the way. It's Dylan Gomes. They're not going to catch Dylan. He's down. He's in for a score. He had one nearly a couple moments ago, just missed it, and that time played it perfectly. Gomes took off from about the 35-yard line and just rumbled all the way home.
Take a look at this. Boom. Right at about, say, the 23 upon looking at it again. And look at this. Once he started going down the sidelines, there was no way he was going to be able to be caught. So we'll put it down as a 77-yard interception return by Dylan Gomes. And what a huge turn of events as Silver Lake in the hurry up coming down the field, moving along, moving the chains, having the Dartmouth defense back on the heels a little bit, and boom, wipe that off and put it up on the board for the Indians. Big deflation there for Silver Lake, who was trying to chisel their way back into it a little bit.
Ricky had to call timeout. All that excitement from the 70-plus yard interception return for touchdown. They only had 10 people out on special teams.
See Dylan Gomes there, a senior, grown a lot, big, strong. I remember him when he was a sophomore, and he was good then. But he was small, you know, he looked kind of like a sophomore, and he hadn't grown into his body quite yet. But now you see him, and you're like, wow, is that Dylan Gomes? That was the first thing I thought of at the beginning of the year. I'm like, oh, yeah, look at Dylan Gomes. All of a sudden, he's tall. He's filled out a little bit, and now he's one of the top athletes out there for the Dartmouth Indians.
He nearly had one earlier.
Yes.
2 or 3 plays prior to that. Just missed it. And when they came out in that formation, as soon as the quarterback got it, he read his eyes, intercepted, and just took off down the sideline for an Indian touchdown. Louis Freitas in for the point after touchdown. Good snap, good hold, and we'll take the point. Clock is stopped here at the stadium with just under 3 minutes to go. And here's your score. Dartmouth High School 22, Silver Lake 6. A lot of action in this consolation game. These teams have really nothing to play for but pride and pride itself. And give the kids an extra game. Silver Lake plays out of the Patriot League. Dartmouth High has no idea what the Patriot League's all about. And here you have the state tournament where you play teams from across the state. And I would say they're about 45, 50 miles away from the high school, Paul.
Yeah, that's right, and you don't really know a lot about them. Of course, the coaches look at tape and stuff like that, of course. But as far as the fans around the area, don't really know a lot about the opponent. But we're learning a lot about them, and so far the Indians are playing a very nice game, complementary football, offense, defense, special teams, all involved in this one.
And this is Griffin on the return. And Griffin is surrounded, and down he goes, short of the 20-yard line. Nice play by the Indians. Jason Martin on special teams.
The junior coming in there with a big hit. Indians seem to be invigorated after what's happened in the last, say, 7-8 minutes of this game. A couple of scores by Dartmouth. A safety by Silver Lake. Good return on special teams.
Not so sure they're going to come out in that hurry-up offense. We'll see. Bouchane in there at the quarterback spot. 1st and 10. This team now trailing 22-6. And here comes the rush, and down goes Bouchane. 3 Indians there to get him. Cherry is one of the guys in there. Burgo, Martin as well. And they will speed it up as well. 2nd down and 10. Dickinson.
Oh!
The ball's out, and it's recovered by Silver Lake. Fortunately for them.
Dickinson on the carry. There's a fumble on the play, but it was recovered by Hooper.
Ball just yanked out of his hands.
Yes, it was, and Hooper was fortunate to pick that up and make a 1.5-yard gain out of nothing.
That was Jason Martin reaching in there and ripping the ball loose. And it just, really a fluke. Just went up in the air and right into the arms of one of the other Silver Lake players, but creates a 3rd and long.
And here's a run up across to the 25-yard line. That's Wes Griffin, the ball carrier. And he's going to be well short of the 1st down he was looking for. Jason Martin credited with the tackle.
It'll be 4th down. Timeout, Indians.
Ricky takes a timeout. Clock is stopped with 1:32 to play in the opening half.
It's tough when you got a 3rd and long situation like that, but it didn't seem like a play that was likely to get the yardage needed.
And all these scores, I believe, were set up off turnovers. Am I correct?
Yeah, let's see. The first one, which was an 8-yard touchdown run by Bouchane of Silver Lake, that was off the Dartmouth fumble. Then there was a long run by Jackson Hart, 58 yards. That tied it at 6. But then the Indians, they had a chance to score again. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, but then they forced a safety.
That led to a touchdown.
That led to a touchdown.
In the pick 6.
And then the pick 6. There you go. So a lot going on, definitely, and a lot going on with the various units. You know, the offense for Dartmouth getting into the end zone, the defense forcing turnovers, the special teams, that long 35-yard return by Fenno, which set up that last drive and the last touchdown that happened before the pick 6. The contributions from everywhere.
And they kept their starting offense on there, and I believe the Indians, did they jump offside?
Yes.
Oh my goodness
Offside
gracious.
Indians, 5-yard penalty makes it is enough for a first down.
That gives them a first down, and
Oh.
they keep possession of the football.
On their own 31-yard line.
See if we can pick it up.
Here's the left side of the line, and Donovan Burgo said, I might get yelled at halftime for that, coach. O'Shane throws it near side, low. Did he catch it? The refs look at each other, and they're going to call it a catch. Kravosky with the grab. Actually, now the other referee rules it incomplete.
Ball is on the Silver Lake 31-yard line.
Isn't it amazing with the guy standing right there, calls it complete, and the other guy comes over and says it's incomplete? It was right in front of the first guy. Don't get me started, Paul. Second down and long. Dickinson, and Dickinson looking for room along the left side.
Griffin on the
Nothing
carry.
doing.
Martin and Chariot
Actually,
on
that
the
was Griffin, the
tackle.
ball carrier.
Gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Well, the offside penalty got them the first down, but they haven't capitalized on it as of yet.
Throw it wide side of the field, and what a hit on the catcher, Enright. And he took a pop.
O'Shane's pass to Enright is
Short of the first down, it'll bring up fourth down.
Had a chance to get out of bounds, too, and stop the clock.
Fourth down.
He came to the inside before he got clocked.
Ball is
That was
on the
Graham
Sam
White.
White. Yep.
34-yard line.
So it looks like Silver Lake is just going to eat it as the clock winds down to 30 seconds here. Even with the first down, as a result of that offside penalty, you thought, uh-oh, if this turns into a score, it's going to change the whole game. Might be the biggest moment of the game. And the Dartmouth defense stepped up and said, no, you don't. Indians in a good spot right now for sure.
So they get the clock down to 7 seconds to go in the half. Both teams go to their respective sidelines. Dartmouth High School marching band here tonight. Award-winning Dartmouth High School band. I think they've been in 3 competitions this season, Paul, and come away with championships in all 3. The folks in the town of Dartmouth, we know and respect all the music departments throughout the town. Going back to the 1970s, this band has been great for the last 50 or 60 years. They've had great instruction, and they've been a great marching band, and it's part of the pageantry here at the high school. And a lot of high schools can't afford music programs anymore, and we're fortunate here in Dartmouth to not only have a town band like the high school, but participate in national championships and win them. So quite a tribute to the music department from the elementary school all the way up through the high school.
Yes, congratulations to all involved.
For Silver Lake.
High kick. And the Indians are just going to let it hit the ground, and the horn goes off, and that's the end of the first 24 minutes in this one. Our score at the half, Dartmouth High School in the lead, 22-6 over Silver Lake. Stay tuned for the Dartmouth High School Marching Band. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll have more football action coming your way in just a moment.
Hot dogs, french fries, popcorn, nachos, all kinds of good snacks, and all the proceeds. contribute would be greatly appreciated.
All right, gentlemen,
I'll be back. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's game between the Silver Lake Regional High School Lakers and your Dartmouth High School Indians. At the 50-yard line tonight is the award-winning Dartmouth High School Marching Band and Color Guard. This year, the band and color guard took first place in every competition they entered. Their season was capped off with a first-place win on October 29th at the Bank of America competition at Rutgers Stadium with a score of 83.6, and winning the captions for Best Visual, Best Percussion, and Best Overall Effect. The next day in Reading, they won the Division V New England Scholastic Band Association competition with a score of 99.2 and winning all captions. The season ended last Saturday night at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, by winning the U.S. Band's Division V for the 6th year in a row with a score of 97.7 and again winning all captions. The trophies that you see out on the field are from these three events. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for our Dartmouth High School Marching Band and Color Guard, under the direction of Mr. Ian Flint and assisted by Tom Unks, John Souza, and Tyler Kingsland.
Welcome back, everybody. The special telecast of Dartmouth High School Indian football. This is the consolation game of the state tournament. Losers bracket, unfortunately, for Silver Lake and Dartmouth High School. Our score at the half, Dartmouth High School 22, Silver Lake 6. A game thus far, Paul, both teams capitalizing on the other team's mistakes and turnovers.
Correct. The Silver Lake Lakers got their first score off a Dartmouth fumble. Their first drive, an 8-yard touchdown run by Boucher to make it 6-0. Indians came back with a 58-yard touchdown run by quarterback Jackson Hart to tie it at 6. Indians then forced a safety to make it 8-6. And Gramlich had a 2-yard touchdown run. And that was followed by Dylan Gomes' pick 6, a 77-yard interception return, followed by Louis Freitas' extra point. And that's where we get the 22-6 score. Almost looked like Silver Lake was starting to play a little bit better toward the end of the half there, but then the mistakes and the turnovers and, of course, the pick 6, that was like a dagger at the latter stages of the first half. A lot of football to be played, but Dartmouth in the driver's seat for sure.
Yeah, they fell behind 16, 14, 6, whatever it was. And they sped up their offense, and I was commenting to you that at this level of high school, that's hard to do because most quarterbacks went over to the sideline to get the play in. And when you're 15, 16 years old, sometimes you forget the play between the coach and getting back to the huddle. And they were just running like a college offense, and everything was going well until the pick 6 by Dylan Gomes. And we'll see if they're going to run that offense to start the third quarter or not. But that led to a big turnover and gave Dartmouth the lead at 22-6 as Louis Freitas gets set to kick it off to Wes Griffin and Dane Peach back deep for Silver Lake. We're all set here to go in the second half. And it's going to be fielded. And they're going to call it a touchback. Wes Griffin caught it. And they're going to call it a touchback. Silver Lake will have the first touch to start the second half. They trail by a score of 22-6. I'm Jim Thompson, joined by Paul Santos as well. We miss Andrew Thompson, our Crackerjack analyst, home tonight with the baby, Paul, newborn. Called me today and said, it's my night to feed, Dad. Sorry, can't make it. I said, don't worry, I got to feed too. He goes, that's your problem. You eat too much.
It's a wonderful thing, and we got our first coming in January, so we're looking forward to that. Good for you. And congratulations again to the Thompson family.
There's Boucher off the ball fake, and he's got himself a gain of 11 and a first down. Actually, they're going to give him a gain of 12. Morris made the tackle in the Indian secondary.
Might be too early to say that this is a must-score situation, but from the Silver Lake point of view, it's so important, I think, to get points out of this. The way the game is gone, the way the clock just seems to move along with the running game and so forth. I mean, the clock moves along, and the next thing you know, you're in the fourth quarter, and it's still a 2 or 3 possession game. I think it is a must-score situation almost.
Is Dickinson looking for room, gets through one tackle. Ball's on the ground, and the Indians have recovered it. Jason Martin fell on it at the 40-yard line. It'll be Indian football.
Silver Lake has not done a good job taking care of the football tonight. And as we said, an opportunity here to move the ball, see what they could do, see if they could score and get back in the game. No, not only do they not score, they cough up the ball. And covering it was Jason Martin, as indicated by Jim. So look at the field position. Once again, the Indians getting a short field, which they've had all night, not only with a turnover, but also good returns on the special teams, like in that Fenno run. Once again, the Indians are in enemy territory to start a drive.
Jackson Hart back at the quarterback spot. Gramlich back to the line of scrimmage. Ray Gramlich had a good first half, Paul. He's had a good second half of the season.
Yeah, he's really grown a lot from the earlier time in the season when he first started running the ball. I don't think it was quite as aggressive. I mean, he was kind of finding his way, learning, developing. But as the season has gone along, he's really become an outstanding back, rushing for just under 100 yards last week. And obviously tonight having a very, very nice game for the Dartmouth Indians, getting into the end zone for a touchdown tonight.
I'm so old, I know his grandfather, Ray Gramlich. Gramlich Insurance up there in the north end of New Bedford at one time. Here's the Indians on the sweep near side. This is Andrews. Andrews got the 30 and inside down to the 29-yard line. And it's a gain of 10 and a first down.
Not to mention his father, who kicked extra points for New Bedford High School some years back. So the Gremlick family very prominent here in football. As we take a look at the replay, Marcus Andrews, the sophomore. A lot of underclassmen here for the Indians, you'll notice. And a lot of these same players will be back next year. Bodes well for head coach Rick White and the Indians.
1st and 10, Dartmouth looking to profit off the fumble recovery. And Gremlick. And it's going to go in for a touchdown. A beautiful fake by Hart, and they're going to call us back on a hold. Beautiful ball fake to Gremlick. But it's all coming back.
Well, it's unfortunate that it'll come back, but watch this right here. Jim pointed this out before on that play fake. See the way he stayed with him? He stayed with him. He didn't just, like, give a quick, here you go, take it away kind of thing. He took a few steps with him, and then it was hard to tell. In fact, he even fooled Jim for a second. But
it most certainly did.
Yeah, it did. And all of a sudden he was down the sideline. But wipe it out because it's all coming back, and we have a 1st and 15 on the penalty against the Indians.
I think they called this on Jalen Adams.
It'll be 1st and 14.
Let's take a look right down by the goal line. There's no flag yet. Well, no, they might have called it on 22.
Yeah, I think they might have. Because that's when the flag was thrown.
Yeah, Jason Martin. So they run the same play, but Gremlick takes the ball this time and rumbles out for a gain of 6. 2nd down and long now facing Hart and the Indians. They have the lead at 22-6. You're watching Indian football. Cablecast by Dartmouth Community Media. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos. Welcome all you people live on YouTube. Rich Rocchio down in the Villages. Shout out to him. Brother John Thompson, Payneham Village. Oh, there's a loose ball. Hart's going to fall on it.
Loose ball on the play. Hart recovers it.
And we can't forget Andrew Nicky and Rowan Thompson over there on Arch Street viewing it as well.
Gain of 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and
Well, there's one time
for the Indians.
the exchange was not so good. Wasn't sure if he's going to leave it or take it. Ball came loose, and now the Indians are looking at a 3rd and long.
Hart rolls. Indian coaches are screaming from the run, and he does. And he's got himself a 1st down.
Knocked out of bounds by John Dickinson.
Dickinson got him out of bounds, but not before
Not before he gets a
young Hart picked up the 1st down. You could hear those Indian coaches screaming upstairs, Paul.
Now, it's like when the Patriots couldn't tackle Justin Fields a few weeks back, as the quarterback rolls out, and it's like they're chasing him. And then Hart decides he's going to take off. And it was the right decision, of course, and you could see all the green in front of him. So there's a good example of the high-speed quarterback, Jackson Hart.
1st and 10 from the Silver Lake 17. Gremlick. Gremlick's got a nice, solid run down into the 10-yard line. Be 2nd and short now for the high school. Approaching the 8-minute mark. 22-6 Indians. Consolation game here at the stadium. When I say consolation game, I say it very lightly because they're in the losers bracket. But it still is a consolation game. Am I right, Paul Santos? Help me out here.
You are always right. You don't hear that too often, do you?
No. The last 20-something years it's been, excuse me. There's Hart. Hart's got running room, and Hart's going to go in untouched for a touchdown.
A 10-yard touchdown run.
So from 10 yards out, the young quarterback
Jackson Hart.
didn't start the first few games for the Indians, but has come on strong here late in the season. And Paul, this was way too easy.
Yeah, look at this. He just took off and just untouched, standing into the end zone for 6. 2nd touchdown of the night.
Good blocking by the Indian wideouts. Jalen Adams has his man blocked well into the end zone. Helped young Hart get in there, and the extra point by Louis Freitas is up, and it's good. The clock is stopped with 7 minutes and 26 seconds to go in the 3rd. It's Dartmouth High School 29, Silver Lake High School 6.
Oh, a 10-yard touchdown run by Jackson Hart, and in the first half, a 58-yard touchdown run by Jackson Hart. So a couple of touchdowns tonight for the young Dartmouth Indian quarterback. And he has been playing much stronger football as the season has gone along. We mentioned before how he's come in at the quarterback position, only a sophomore. So it looks like he'll have an opportunity possibly to play the next 2 years for the Dartmouth Indians if things continue to go as well as they have.
So Freitas set to kick it away from his 40-yard line. Griffin and Peach back deep for Silver Lake. Low kick by Freitas to one of the up men. And he'll start it to the near side, back to the middle of the field, and still on his feet across the 40 and out to the 42-yard line. The up man catching that was Kravowski. Good field position now for Silver Lake. However, Paul, they find themselves trailing by a big margin of 29-6.
Dartmouth really seemed to take possession of the game, and late second quarter when you had the 2 plays in a row pretty much, the safety followed by the pick 6.
And they run it to the far side. That's Barnhart. Barnhart tripped over his own feet, unfortunately for him, but he picked up about 4 on the play. Second down, 6. Clock moving here to the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, at the end of the first quarter, it was only 6-6, so we were thinking, oh, this is going to be a close one. This is going to go right down to the wire. It seemed to be evenly matched. In fact, on the first drive, if Silver Lake had the ball, it looked like they were winning the battle of the line of scrimmage. Well, that changed quite a bit.
This is Griffin, and Griffin looking for room along the far side. Picked up 1. Donovan Burgo credited with the open field tackle. 3rd down, 3 now for Silver Lake. And Paul, you would think they have to possess the football here to stay in this one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're almost in a situation where you got to go on 4th down pretty much every time with this multiple score deficit halfway through the 3rd quarter, and neither offense really looking like they're putting points up on the board quickly. I mean, you could make the case for Dartmouth. They have, but Silver Lake 6 points to this point.
Looked like Silver Lake jumped offside, no flag. Griffin not going to get it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 4th down now for Silver Lake.
Nothing like getting contributions from all facets of your game. Offense, of course, contributing here for the Dartmouth Indians, playing a very nice game. Defense, holding the opposition, forcing a safety, getting a touchdown on the pick 6. Special teams, big return there by Fenno, setting up one of the scores for Dartmouth.
They'll go for it here on 4th down, and he's not going to get it. Held up is Bouchane, the quarterback, and the Indians will take possession of the football. Jason Martin in there for Dartmouth High School, along with Graham White.
Bouchane thought that he was going to be able to pick up those 4 yards on his own. Saw a space over left guard, but Indians spotted it right away. Good read to get in there, and nothing doing, and Dartmouth takes over on downs. Dartmouth's defense has played a nice game tonight, and that's been something that has been one of the stronger suits as the season has gone along, and Indians tonight delivering on the defensive side of the ball.
Kind of an odd call for Bouchane. He's not much of a runner. Dickinson's been getting a lot of the carries here tonight. This time, young Hart is going to take a big loss. Hooper in there for Silver Lake. Dickinson as well.
That was quite a job by Silver Lake's defense getting right in there. Just poured right through, and there was no way that that play could develop.
Loss of 6 moves the ball back to the Indian 45-yard line. Approach the 4.5-minute mark here in the 3rd. Indians up comfortably in this one. Gramlich looking for room and pushes the pile forward for a couple. Brandon Gilleran made the stop, and we may have an injured player. He's just tying his shoe down there, Paul.
There you go. Can't have loose laces down there. That's something that would cause some issues.
You know, I get the shoes where you just step into them, and
Oh,
even
yeah.
if that's a hard thing in the morning, I'm like, jeepers, there's something wrong.
I do the same thing. I like to just slip right in there. Either they're tied already or they have one of those fake, like it looks like there's laces, but it's not really.
Oh, goodness. Where'd you get those at Kmart or someplace?
Those are specially designed.
3rd and 12 here for Young Hart. Here comes the rush. He's got room to run. He's going to throw. He's got a man. It's caught, and it's right near the sticks. White caught it, and he's going to be close to a first down. Nice play by Jackson Hart.
Wow, I really like the way he executed vision here. Watch this. He's looking to his right, and then he needed to do something, and he spotted just basically wide open in the 40-yard line, Graham White, and delivered the ball to him. What a great read by Jackson Hart, but it's still going to be short of the first down.
So 4th and 1, they'll go for it. They got the lead at 29-6. Clock in their favor. And
Drew him.
might have caught them creeping across the line of scrimmage. Silver Lakes and Indians forced them into that situation, and let's see what they're going to do. The referee's turning in the right direction, and it's going to be a Dartmouth High School first down.
Appeared to me that they did that on purpose. That was a hard count. And you see Jackson Hart marking out the play call and tempted Silver Lake to jump. They did.
Caleb Berry came up from his safety spot right over the center. Just took a half a step inside and got whistled for it. Gives the Indians a first down. More importantly, they possess the football with a large lead as they jet sweep it to Andrews here to the near side. And he gets it down to about the 32-yard line. Bailey Hooper with the tackle. You could hear the Indian coaches telling him not to stop. And he comes up a little gimpy, and he'll take a break. 2nd and 6.
I was thinking about 58 degrees when we started tonight, and I just checked. It's still 58 degrees. It's a comfortable night here at the stadium. And whatever small breeze that we had at the beginning of the game, it's really settled down. Doesn't feel like there's hardly any breeze at all. Very comfortable night for football.
Here's Gramlich. Gets it down to the 30. He's going to be short of the first down. Sapulo of Silver Lake with the tackle. 3rd and a long 3 now for the Indian offense. 2 down territory, Paul?
Oh, I think so. 29-6, first of all. Comfortable lead where the Indians have moved the ball. There's no reason to do anything other than go for it on 4th.
Hart off the ball fake. He's got room and plenty of it. Hart's going to be pulled down inside the 20, and that's going to be a horse call, a tackle called against Silver Lake.
Hart on a carry. 2 penalty markers on the play.
That was going for a touchdown, Paul. If that big fella didn't reach out and grab him by the back of his shirt.
Look at that little hesitation to create that space. And look at this. Just got yanked down. The thing that's concerning about that, you see the Dartmouth High School side of the field, coming down hard on the turf. You bang the back of your head, you can get a concussion. But looks like Jackson Hart's okay.
2 penalty markers on the play.
And the Indians waiting to see what's happening here with the official call.
Holding against the Indians.
It's offsetting penalties, I believe.
Holding penalty against Dartmouth's offense.
They offset.
And with the offsetting horse collar penalty, we'll see where the ball is spotted. Looks like it's back at the 30-yard line.
3rd and 4 from the 30-yard line.
So we replay the down here with a 1:02 to go in the 3rd quarter. Clock now running.
3rd and 4. Hot, rolls right, gonna throw it. Got a man, first down, and more. Jalen Adams on the reception. Really impressed with this young Jackson Hart.
Just going to say that. We got used to seeing him keep it and run it, but look at the way he's throwing the ball and executing these pass plays and rolling out comfortably and showing poise and finding his open man. Really like the way he's executed the passing plays as well.
Well, he set himself up in this game as a running quarterback. He's got a couple of touchdowns in his back pocket. So now when he rolls out, it just freezes the defense and the receivers can get behind the backers. And as you saw there, a nice pass and catch as Gramlich goes in for yet another Indian touchdown.
16-yard touchdown run by Ray Gramlich.
That'll make his grandfather Ray and Grandma Susan very happy here tonight.
Second touchdown of the night for Ray Gramlich, the sophomore running back for the Dartmouth Indians. And look at that, the way he just powered his way through that Silver Lake defense with second effort, keeping the legs running, keeping that shoulder down, and into the end zone he goes from 12 yards out, 16 yards out.
Louis Freitas, automatic.
Money.
With 33 seconds to go in the third.
So we're almost through the third quarter. We got just over a half minute to go, and the Indians scored on their first 2 possessions here in the second half and now have a large lead of 36-6. And I don't think anyone saw this score coming, Paul. The Indians don't score a lot of points.
Yeah, I think a lot of the pundits were thinking that it was going to be a close game, maybe a one-score game, but it's really been the turnovers and the mistakes in addition to the Indians' ability to capitalize on those mistakes. We've talked about the pick 6. We've talked about, turning the ball over and forcing that safety early in the game. And then you add that to the fact that the Indian offense picked up some steam as the game has gone along, executing very well, starting with a sophomore quarterback, Jackson Hart. 2 touchdowns for him, 2 touchdowns for Ray Gramlich. Some good special teams play, like on that return by Fenno early in the game, and throw in some extra points by Mr. Money, Louis Freitas. And you add it all up, it's 36 points on the board for Dartmouth.
High end over end kick comes down to Peach from his 5. And Peach has got himself to 20, and that's about it. Wrapped up there by special teamer Jared Abreu. Very hesitant on the return was Peach. Nice night for the officials. It's perfect weather for officiating. We've got a nice fella sitting next to us on the clock, a young man. It's hard for these young officials to get on varsity games. Yet they're short officials, but a lot of the young guys have to wait their turn as pass gets completed out there to the far sideline.
Bouchane's pass to Enright is complete.
Enright, the receiver.
Brought down by Jared Abreu.
Abreu, the tackler.
Gain of 2 on the play.
2nd and 8.
Officials tonight, Craig Small, James Bowman, Jared Santos, Nuno Barrows, Tim Chapin, and up here in the booth running the clock, Mr. Sean Myers.
Nuno Barrows as the third period comes to a close. Indians with the big lead, 36-6. Nuno Barrows, one of the officials here tonight. Outstanding running back for the Spartans right up the street from here. Back in the 70s, I believe it was the late 70s. And he was one of the fastest kids I think Stang has ever had. And he's been an official for a long, long time. But I remember watching him play, and he was quite a talent for the Spartans. We've had a lot of good talent over the years up in Spartan Village. It's got a long history of solid football up the street, as do Dartmouth High School.
So we're going to a running clock here in the 4th quarter because it's 30 points and we're in the 4th quarter.
Good rule.
Right, I mean, I think for injury situation, of course, and really the game pretty much not in doubt. So once you get to a 30-point lead fourth quarter, there really is no reason to keep stopping the clock and kind of delay the inevitable.
So you know what happens in a game like this? You and I usually get off kilter a little bit.
Yes.
Start talking about things we shouldn't. But tonight we're going to do, for the first time this year, Peter Chase, I know you're listening in the truck, we're going to do something we did for years. The fan of the game. And
I
will
was just going to
explain-
say.
We're going to bring it back tonight. Silver Lake runs it up the middle on second down. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Third down and 8 now. Clock running. It'll run through the entire quarter. Well, Dickinson got a lot of carries in the first half, Paul, but very little here in the second.
Yeah, it's been a different story by the Dartmouth defense as they've played a better game as it's gone along. And, of course, you get invigorated when you have a big lead like this. And, of course, Silver Lake kind of deflated as the game has gone along. It looked like it was going to be a competitive game from their point of view, but Dartmouth really capitalized on a few opportunities, and now they're in the driver's seat just playing out the string here in the fourth quarter.
Here's Boucher's going to launch it near side. Falls incomplete, and here comes a flag thrown in late.
It looks like they're going to catch Graham White for defensive pass interference. Looked like the wide receiver was coming down the sideline there, and there was some contact. I'd have to look at it again.
Looked like Graham White slipped. I'm not sure he touched the offensive player, but we'll take a look.
Quarterback figuring, hey, let's let it rip. He tripped and fell. It doesn't look like he interfered too much with the receiver, but just enough to slow him down, I guess.
Just look at the receiver's reaction. Just said, okay, we're going to kick it. Most guys, if they interfere, would turn around and look at the official. Graham just slipped, and official threw the flag, gives them a first down, and here's Boucher looking to pick up yardage, and he gains one and gets slammed to the turf. Jason Martin's had a heck of a game defensively for the Indians. Solid tackle there on the Silver Lake quarterback.
Boucher was looking for a pass. Couldn't find a receiver downfield and decided to take off, but there was nothing doing there. Set himself up for a big hit by Dartmouth's defense. And it's a second and long.
And whistles blow, flags get thrown. False start. So that'll back them up 5 yards. All right, Paul, you're an official. Watch the guy at the top of the screen. Oh, okay. We blows the whistle. Oh, let me go find it. It's it. There it is. Yep. You ever see Belichick when he goes to get it, he doesn't know what socket's in?
Yeah. He's trying to find it.
That guy's car keys was in his pocket. He said, darn it, I can't get that flag out. Here's Boucher. He's got time. No rush. Throws far sideline. Incomplete. Well, they're going to call it. They're going to call it complete. Gabarski on the grab. And a nice grab at that. Shoot top catch. Gets the ball out to the 41-yard line. Will be third down and a long 6 to go. I was telling somebody earlier in the week, when the score gets like this, high school football is hard to broadcast. You know, it's got a lot of subs in there, a lot of sloppy play, and that ball is caught nicely along the far sideline, and it's going to be right at the sticks. Let's see where the official marks it. They're going to give him a first down.
Game not in doubt. Here is Boucher.
Let's watch the spot.
Seemed like he landed on this side of the
I didn't want
locker.
to say. I'm glad you did. Here's Boucher, gets out of the pocket, spins. He's got himself a gain of 8. But if you're Silver Lake, you don't want the quarterback running for his life on every play. Once again, Jason Martin. Doc Noon's on the PA. He's been here forever. I think he's part of the press box. Here's Bouchane, here's the rush. Hit as he throws, far sideline. Falls incomplete.
Incomplete. Intended for Kavorsky.
Kavorsky was the intended receiver. Dylan Gomes, the touchdown maker on the pick six. Back there defending. Third down and short now for Silver Lake. They trail 36-6. We have a running clock. Many of the fans still here. Congratulations once again to the Dartmouth High School marching band. Another award-winning performance by them. Another first-place finish. Bouchane gets it out quickly. Caught. First down.
Bouchane's pass to
Dickinson on the reception. Jared Abreu with the tackle.
That's enough for a Silver Lake first down.
Yeah, they're back in that hurry up, Paul.
For Silver Lake on the Indian 35-yard line.
Bouchane over the middle. Caught. Dickinson's got it again. And he's inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line.
You heard at the beginning of the game that they like to put the ball up on occasion, but they content on running it most of the time, and now they're throwing on every single down, maybe a little bit too late.
Jason Martin's going to have a sore body tomorrow. He's in on a lot of stops as Bouchane throws that wide right. Bring up third down now and about 4 yards to go for the visitors.
Now, while we have a brief break in the action, have you ever wondered how
No.
Jim Thompson, who, you know, had a big scholar business here in the city, very successful, got into broadcasting? I discovered that the last time I interviewed Jim was that you went to a broadcasting school, right?
I most certainly did, Paul.
And that's something I didn't know. I thought this was something that you kind of picked up as a hobby, but you did have some training in it.
I did, as they pick up the first down here. Silver Lake does. Barnhart on the reception. Yes, I went to a place called Graham Junior College in Kenmore Square in Boston, and I learned much more than broadcasting up there. As a lot of the kids were like me, they weren't the smartest kids in the world, but boy, they had stuff up there that back in the 70s that I don't think people in Dartmouth knew. If you know where I'm going with this, there was all kind of stuff going on up there. So I learned very fast to do some things well and stay away from others. I'll leave it at that.
So these are the kind of things you can learn when you hear a full interview, when Jim will be my guest on the Paul Santos Live Show this coming Monday night live on Facebook, and it'll play back Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on Channel 95 here in the town of Dartmouth Community Media. So check it out. Should be entertaining.
Look forward to it. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Uh-oh.
Here's the quarterback being chased, and down he goes.
He was sacked by
Donovan Burgo had a nice game as well. Gets credited with the sack for the Indians. Give credit to the secondary, Paul.
Look at this. The secondary, absolutely, because there was nothing that Bouchane could do with the ball. Bouchane goes down hard to the turf. And a 3rd and 17 situation as the clock continues to run. 30-point lead in the fourth quarter, running clock.
Bouchane just called for an Uber. 3rd and forever. Gonna throw over the middle, and it's almost picked off by the Indians.
Bouchane's pass almost intercepted by Jared.
I'll tell you, funny.
Incomplete. It will be 4th and 17.
Jared Abreu had that one on his fingertips as the ball came hard over the middle, and at least knocked it down anyway as the ball went incomplete. So the Dartmouth defense definitely has stepped up in this game. 6 points Silver Lake has been held to this point in the game. Outstanding job on the defensive side of the ball.
5 wides. And is a false start or an offside?
Well, Bouchane didn't know the ball was coming.
Initial call is illegal procedure.
Silver Lake's quarterback, Douglas Gilmore, the senior, out injured with a shoulder injury approximately 3 weeks ago in the game against Marshfield. And Michael Bouchane, who's in there tonight, you've seen him play throughout the evening, just a sophomore quarterback, has been filling in ever since. Done a nice job, but tonight, a little uneven, a lot of fumbles and the ball on the ground, and really couldn't get rolling, and the Indian defense has taken advantage of that.
4th down and forever here for Silver Lake. Shane throws it long down the middle. And it is caught for a touchdown. Beautiful grab by John Dickinson. Thrown between two defenders. The sophomore quarterback rifles it in for 6 points.
Wow, that's about a 34-yard touchdown pass here by the quarterback, Beauchene. And look at this. Wow, Dickinson in traffic. Ball drops in there very, very nicely. And a huge touchdown there by Silver Lake. It's not going to matter in terms of the outcome of the game, but very nice execution there to the senior, John Dickerson, from the sophomore quarterback, Michael Beauchene.
Is Beauchene going to rush for the 2 and waltzes his way in for the 2-point conversion? And the clock rolls, as you do note, even after a touchdown. So, fellas, here we go. Camera number 1 or 2. Fan of the game, Peter Chase. Let it rip.
Now, which one of these cameras is camera 1?
I won't tell you. Oh, there we go. Well, come on, Peter. Let's go. We're roaming the sideline.
Looks like the fan of the game.
Oh, here we
Ah,
go.
there we go.
Here we go. Oh, boy. Oh, the kids. I don't think the kids are going to win it this week, Paul. No, let's see. Let's see where they're going with this. Peter is excellent at this. He's got years of experience. Oh, wait a minute. The guy's filming himself. Okay. Come on, Peter. Choose someone.
That guy filming himself might have been a candidate.
Yeah, put it back to the guy filming himself. It's Coach Rossi.
Down in
There you go. The guy with the headset as Dartmouth returns the kickoff. So Coach Rossi, my longtime pal, former coach at UMass Dartmouth.
fan of the game?
He wins the fan of the game. And all he has to do is go to Faye's restaurant and walk in and say you're the fan of the game. And the first thing out of their mouth is, what is that?
I often wondered if that is a setup, and you've
It's
been
a-
doing this for years. If the person goes in there, and when they say, "Hey, I'm here for the fan of the game," is the response, "We don't know what you're talking about, Jim who?"
Yes, that's exactly what happens. I've been doing this prank for years. And who better than pick Coach Rossi to prank him as he goes in for the free pizza? And he's tight with a buck, so he'll be right down there. Probably order 2 or 3 thinking I'm paying for it. But the game has come to a conclusion here. The Indians waltz through this one, a 36-14 win, and now they have 10 days off, and they'll be across the bridge over in Fairhaven to take on the Blue Devils in the traditional Thanksgiving Day morning game. We'll have it live here on YouTube, and also DCTV will have it live as well, and Facebook, I believe, also carries these games live. So we'll be across the bridge in Fairhaven. I think Fairhaven's like 8-1, had a solid season, and I'm told their star running back, who's a touchdown maker over there, hurt his knee, and but he should be ready for Thanksgiving Day game. And if you remember here last year, they defeated the Indians, which doesn't happen very often in Thanksgiving morning. So we'll be live in Fairhaven Thanksgiving morning. Hope you all tune in. And Paul, you did ask me about the junior college I went to, and I'll just tell you a quick story. So in order to graduate, you had to do a project, 5-minute film. So I'm like 5'6", 120 pounds back then. I'm carrying this big old camera, and I'm walking down Commonwealth Avenue. So you get this North Dartmouth kid in. I don't know what Com Avenue is. It's like, I see all these cars and buses and wondering where the heck I am. So I got to do this project. And it's a big CBS truck. And there used to be a show called Banachek. George Papard.
Yes, I remember
star
it.
of it. So the guy sees me with a camera, and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I got to do a 5-minute project." He says, "Hey, get in the car with George Papard." I go, "What?" He goes, "Get in the car." He says, "Give me that camera." He looks at the film, whatever it was. He goes, "We're using the same stuff." So they film it. So I get out, and the guy says, "Here, take this back to your professor." I say, "What is it?" He said, "If you don't get an A+ on this, this is what we're going to use in the actual program."
Yeah.
So I go back, and 2 days later, I'm standing in front of the class. I hand the thing to the guy. The guy plays it 3 times in front of the class. He looks at me and he goes, "You are going to be a big-time success. This is the greatest project I've ever seen. There's not a flaw in this. There's
Yeah.
got to be a flaw somewhere." And I just looked at him and said, "You have no idea how hard I worked on this project, Professor." But there you have it.
Gee,
So-
that was great. Right in the car with George Papard. I remember that show. I watched that as a kid.
Yep. So all you old folks out there, George and I are tight.
Yeah.
We had tight, yeah.
I wonder if I watched that episode and I didn't realize that that's the footage right
Yeah,
there. That, that might have
I
been.
was in the car in the back seat.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this chase scene through the common, it was. So my classmates on Facebook. Some of them call me George Papard. But anyway,
Nice.
enough of the boring stories. We have more stories coming on Paul Santos show. Let's talk about that before we sign off.
Yeah, that's right. This Monday night live on Facebook and YouTube. If you go to New Bedford Guide, the Facebook page or the Paul Santos Live Facebook page or YouTube channel, you see the Paul Santos Live show. We highlight the talented, interesting, and entertaining from our area. Show's been growing. We have certain episodes on Channel 6. It also airs on Channel 95 here in town and in New Bedford and Fairhaven and Acushnet at 8 p.m. And our special guest this week, for one, is Mr. Jim Thompson. And you'll learn a little bit about Jim's career broadcasting these games here in Dartmouth the last 25 years in the Dartmouth High School Hall of Fame. Also working in the scallop business down on the waterfront. Very, very successful. And it's been a lot of fun working with Jim here in the broadcast booth. And we've had him on our show before. And it was so much fun. We get to learn about our guest and have a few laughs, too. I think that goes without saying. So we're looking forward to that this coming week. Jim Thompson out our show. Glad to have you come by, Jim. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I look forward to it. And the final
Wait a minute. You said you had something up your sleeve. That makes me nervous.
Yeah, that should make you very nervous. But it won't be shown on Channel 6, I can tell you that. Maybe Facebook will throw you off. But anyway, final score here from the stadium. Dartmouth High School 36 to Lakers 14. We'll be live Thanksgiving Day morning. We look forward for all you folks tuning in on YouTube and, of course, Dartmouth cable media. Final score for the final time. Dartmouth High School 36 to Lakers from Silver Lake 14. For Paul Santos, I'm Jim Thompson. Until next time, so long, everybody.